What's up, guys? Mr. Fit to Flourish, and in this video, this is part 3 of the Billionaire Code series. So in this series, I wanted to start off with a journal entry that I wrote from last year after kind of studying on wealth creation and abundance, right? So it started like this. So getting the money is about having the freedom, the autonomy, okay? You need the freedom of choice. So this allows focus on energy manipulation. This is why we're here, to manipulate energy. And this is what Dolores Cannon said. In this time now and future, I am going to take advantage of opportunity. And until opportunity presents itself, I will prepare like a professional. Professionals practice until they cannot get it wrong. Amateurs practice until they get it right, and then they stop. So you need to take self-accountability. Have effing standards, okay? So your women, they need to be models. Yourself, you need to be clean. You need to be put together, smell great, look great, be in the best shape of your life. If you have a job, if you have a business, it needs to be less stress, less work, a lot of play, okay? It needs to be joyful. Your pictures, they need to be flawless when you're on social media, okay? Your videos, well put together. Trades, if you trade, you need to be patient, and they need to be A+ setups, have standards, all right? And then your friends and the people around you, they need to be leveled up. They need to be positive. They need to have that growth mindset. They need to be rich. They need to be clean. They need to be just as well-rounded as you are. So I am the one, and I have been, and I always will be. I know this, so you need to know this. Doing is action. So when you meditate on who you are. Who are you choosing to be in this moment? Because that is what is going to be reflected in your reality. If you think you're someone who cannot do it, then your reality is going to show you that you can't do it. If you think that you are someone who can do it, you are the person, then that's what your reality is going to show. You need to go and do the thing to get to where you want to be, regardless if you're motivated or not. So do it happy, do it sad, do it unmotivated. I'm going to the gym. So I'm going to the gym after this. I'm unmotivated. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm unmotivated. I don't want to go to the gym. I'm busting out some videos right now, and that's what I feel like doing. But I'm gonna go to the gym, even though I don't feel like it. Okay. But the evidence will only show up after the doing. Okay. So be, do, have. So first, be the person that you desire to be, which means you're gonna have to do the things that that person would do. And then only when you do those things is when things are going to appear, when you're going to have the things that you've always desired. So part 3 of the Billionaire Code. So today we're going to talk about the other 5 things that billionaires do in order to get to where they are. So they look at money as a tool and not their God. So this is definitely the opposite of how everyone else looks at money. Everyone's like, oh, I need money. Oh, it's my God. Oh, money, money. No, but billionaires understand that money is called currency for a reason, because it is a current. It is always moving, okay? That comes from the Latin, by the way, which means always moving, currency, currents, okay? So money is not a God, but is your tool. And your leverage is your God when you're a billionaire. Leverage is your God when you're a billionaire, okay? So the event that you go to, are you gonna be in a good position or not? You wanna kind of think about everything as leverage. So if you're going to a place where like nobody knows you and you can't really get anything out of it, is it to your benefit to go there? People are gonna treat you like a peon. That's not who you think you are, all right? I wouldn't go there. If you're gonna go somewhere where everyone's gonna look up to you and you can potentially have business associates or make business or level up somehow, then it would benefit you to go to that thing or to do that thing, right? To get what you want, okay? The trade you place is the downside small. So if you're a trader and you're looking to leverage a play, you're always wanting to have a small downside. So billionaires seek plays where the risk is extremely small and the upside is infinity. So Jeff Bezos, when he created Amazon, he knew that the downside risk was extremely small. You know, put in maybe a couple $100,000, and the upside was trillions, billions, and even trillions of dollars now. It's a global market. Okay, that little 100K, that 1 year's worth of a salary can turn into trillions of dollars, and it did. Okay, it was an outsized bet. That's what billionaires look at. They look at money and opportunity as leverage. Okay, they seek those opportunities where the risk is extremely small and the upside is infinity. And this goes to the same thing as for profitable traders or traders, people who trade stocks, options, futures, crypto, whatever you trade or invest. You always want to look at the risk and understand that the risk, if the risk is small and the upside is near infinity, that is where you want to place your large bets. Okay, where the gains are outsized and the risk is extremely small. So money flows to those who create simple solutions to seemingly large problems. Simple solutions to seemingly large problems. Again, that goes to kind of like Zuckerberg. He created that social media, so Meta, okay, Facebook, for people who just really want to just connect with people. All people wanted to do was they wanted to connect. They're like, hey, how can we connect? He's like, oh, let me just make one place where everyone can kind of join and you could see pictures and posts and stuff, keep up with each other across the globe. So creating seemingly simple solutions to large problems is how you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. Okay, Amazon. How do we get things across the world? Okay, well, you warehouse them. Warehouse it by size. Smaller sizes here, larger sizes here. Ship them out, get them out pretty quickly. Now you have a really good system. Okay, and then billionaires, another thing that they do is they will bend their reality through belief and action. Okay, through belief and action. So again, this goes back to what I was talking about in a couple other videos where we talk about, well, what do you need to create your desired reality? Do you have to do the 3-6-9 method? Do you have to go to a shaman and then chant your desire 4 times and then burn it in a paper? Or do you have to meditate for 1,000 hours like the Shaolin monks? Do you have to drink water, clean your system, and then pray? Do you have to pray? Do you have to do anything to get what you want? You don't have to do anything, and that's the great thing about it. Also, check out the Be Something Wonderful channel. On that channel, they talk about how to get what you want and how to be who you've always desired to be. And really, it's simply a choice that you make right now. Okay, you just choose to be that person now, and then watch everything that you've ever desired come to you. So essentially, to bend reality, you need to do it through belief and then action. So you need to be and believe that you're the person that you've always wanted to be. That's all you have to do, just believe it. And if it takes the writing it down 10 times or writing it down 1,000 times, or if it takes the meditation, or if it takes that run, or if it takes whatever it takes, do whatever you think it takes to get there. Because what conditions you place on reality, those are going to be the only conditions that are true. So if you believe, and that's why a lot of manifestation techniques might not work for one person, but they work for another person, because everyone has different things that they believe will work. And someone might have done the 3-6-9 method. Someone else might have done the chanting with the shaman, or the meditation in the morning and night, or the meditation before the sun comes up and then the moon comes, some dumb shit, right? Whatever dumb shit you do, okay? As long as you believe it, that's when it's gonna work, okay? So you could not do any of that thing. That's why a lot of billionaires, people who really actually have wealth, a lot of them don't do this bullcrap meditation, chanting, fake manifestation stuff that people get you to pay for their courses for. Nobody does that stuff. You just have to believe, and whatever it takes for you to get there, it takes for you to get there. Okay. Some people, and like I said, these billionaires, they bend reality through the belief already in their mind. Some people say, oh, be delusional. You don't have to be delusional. You just have to believe. And then if you believe, you're going to take action. If you're fearful and you're afraid and you don't believe, you're not taking action. You're going to be in your room. You're going to be eating Twinkie bars. You're not gonna start the business. You're not gonna make the video. You're not gonna start the TikTok. Okay. You're not gonna take any action. But billionaires take action because they believe. Okay. And so if you're not using meditation or visualization, if the billionaires aren't doing that, what are they doing? Well, they're holding the image of the world as they want it. Okay. So they're not visualizing like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna make this business deal. I have to see it happening. I have to see it happening. And you can do that because it can help your mind. It can help to trick your mind because your mind can't differentiate between thought and reality, which is why a lot of your thoughts come true. If you think something wasn't going to happen or it was going to be a disaster and it turned out to be a disaster, it's because you first thought about it. Well, billionaires, they just believe. They don't even think about it. They just go out and they're like, okay, when I go to this dealership, I'm going to get this car at a steal. I know I'm going to get it. Okay, and they go out there, they take action, they start talking, and it just happens because of their conviction. Okay, and someone else might go out there and try to get that steal, and they're like, oh man, it's not going to work, and that little moment of doubt is going to creep in, and they're going to say the wrong thing, and they might be the person that needs to sit down, meditate, and see it happen first, see it happen, and then go do it. And that's okay. Both people work, but however, I'm telling you right now, the big guys, they have the belief that the world is going to happen and is always happening as they desire. Okay. Now, what else are billionaires and wealth creators? What else do we do? Well, we're obsessive pattern seekers. Obsessive pattern seekers. So when it comes to markets, always looking for that trend or that certain pattern that's going to get us to the right place, or we're looking for markets, behaviors, technology, people. We're looking for those different patterns that are going to give us that edge in whatever it is we're doing, right? And then billionaires control energy. So I talked about in the other video, and even in this video, about Dolores Cannon, how she said that we're on this earth to learn how to manipulate energy. So it says they control energy. So they know where to spend time, what to ignore, and how to focus. So billionaires know where to spend time, what to ignore, and how to focus. And there was another quote from someone else who said that the only problem with, or the human problem is our inability to focus and our lack of attention. Our inability to focus and our lack of attention. Our poverty, here it is, our poverty of imagination. Okay, poverty of imagination and lack of attention. Okay, so if you can imagine something as reality, then it will become your reality, because again, your mind cannot differentiate between imagination and reality. And that's where our where energy goes, is where your attention goes is where energy flows, right? So where attention goes is where energy flows. So if you can focus on that thing in your mind, that imagination, imagine that thing in your mind, then it can probably happen. And again, you don't have to necessarily do that meditation and whatever, okay? But if you are someone whose mind is always running, and it's running in the opposite, like, oh, this bad thing might happen, this bad thing might happen, this bad thing might happen, then your belief is on that bad thing. So you will have to counter that with the belief of, hey, let me focus on this good thing happening. But again, why do billionaires not have to do that? Because they're already convicted that that bad thing cannot happen. The reality is going to happen as they desire. So they're just going to go out there and do it and take action. Okay. So where your attention goes is where energy flows. So stay away from the weird online TikToks and the negative news, or like rap beefs, the Cardi B, the Meek Mill Drake situation stuff, like any like weird online negative news or war, all that stuff. It's not happening to you specifically right now. Okay, so as long as you're thinking about those bad things, you're going to start to invest your energy in energy, negative self-talk, negative energy, lack, all that stuff. So stay away from that. All right. So to summarize it all for this 3-part series, we're probably gonna make this 4 parts. Yeah, we're gonna make this 4 parts because there's another part to this. But anyways, billionaires who skip affirmations, meditations, visualizations, they still live that reality through action. Okay, you don't need them. You don't need the affirmations, the visualizations, the meditation. You don't need them. If it's working for you, then great. Continue to do them if it works for you. But you do not need them. Most people say affirmations, but then still act like peasants, right? You might do the, oh, I have $1 million, I have $1 million. But essentially, for most people, it's going to cause a feeling of lack. You're going to be like, oh, dang, but do I really have that million bajillion dollars? Or maybe you just want 100K. And you say, I have 100K, I have 100K. And then you're going to like look around, you're going to realize, bro, I don't have 100K. And it's going to cause that feeling of separation. And then you're going to start to act like a peasant still. So most people say these affirmations, and then you go out and you drink, or you say you can't afford this thing when you just said that you had that 100K, right? So you're still gonna act like peasants. You're still gonna do what peasants do. You're gonna walk into the room and you're gonna think that you can't make that transaction, and you're not gonna make the transaction. You're gonna believe that you can't start the business. You're not gonna start the business. But billionaires act like gods without saying a word.